Welcome to Chatterbox, the only podcast where we pretend to know what we're doing and somehow you keep listening. I'm your host, Becca.
And this is your co-host, Kyla, coming to you live from my living room because apparently this is what people do these days.
Now let's get into MKUltra because we did just Google this like 5 minutes ago, but just kidding. The birth of MKUltra. So, in 1951, the U.S. Air Force pilot named John walked out of a Chinese prison camp after 18 months of captivity and immediately confessed to dropping biological weapons. And the problem with this is that it actually never happened. So, this phenomenon, repeated by dozens of Korean War POWs, sent shockwaves through Washington, and they had communist interrogators rewired. So the point of MKUltra was to rewire people's minds, and the CIA's response came in 1953 when Project MKUltra, an illegal top-secret program to master human consciousness itself, began. So, who created MKUltra? This is a question that I've had for a long time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know. So, after seeing American war POWs parrot communist propaganda, CIA Director Alan Dulles.
French.
Okay, Alan Dulles became obsessed with creating hypnotized assassins who could KIL on command and developing brainwashing proof agents. So a 1950 CIA memo warned that the Soviets may have already developed a 48-hour technique to turn any subject into a willing spy. Shortly after this is when the LSD gold rush occurred, when CIA chemist Sidney Gottlieb discovered LSD in 1951. Apparently, 100 micrograms of said LSD in 1951 was used in experiments to make entire platoons hallucinate battles. And was this legal? Absolutely not.
I bet you they didn't care back then, though.
Oh, no.
As much as they do now.
And it might still be going on right now. But apparently, certain doses of LSD can completely disintegrate somebody's personality. Can anybody attest to this?
Like that it takes away your personality?
Yeah, it can completely change you as a person. I have multiple stories.
It could be a good thing, though. Like LSD, right? Or that changes.
Yes.
Are you saying it in a bad way? Are you saying like?
Yes, in a bad way.
Like, are you saying like? You're saying they had a bad experience.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, that's but I'm saying like, it could also go the other way. Like every time it can enlighten you. It like
certain amounts can enlighten you.
But over amounts can. Fucking.
You want to take 72 sheets in an 8-hour period and tell me what happened?
No, I literally just what was it? It's obviously not real, but it was this TV show, and it makes me kind of want to watch it. But it was like James Franco and then Seth Rogen, and the guy's like, "Oh, dude, you finally decided to join in," and the guy Seth Rogen was telling her like, "Don't eat all those chocolates," and she's like, "I'll do what I want," and then James was like. She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, the shrooms.
Wait, is this Pineapple Express?
No, it's a TV show.
What the fuck?
And basically, she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, there's stuff in the chocolate. It's shroom. He's like, oh, it's okay. It's just a microdose. He's like, no, bro. There's 7 grams per chocolate bar.
Oh
and then he's like, oh, you should be fine. She's like, I had 3. So she had 21 grams of shrooms.
Oh.
I said, oh. She was like, what are you talking about? I couldn't imagine. Imagine not ever doing it and you just say it to me.
Oh my god.
Girl, I wouldn't even know what to do.
Oh.
I'd be freaking making myself puke it up.
I wonder if anybody listening has experienced that amount or more.
I mean,
that's a healthy
if
dose.
you've done it multiple times, maybe. But if you've never done it and you didn't know you were doing it, oh my god. Thank God it was a TV show, but hopefully it wasn't based off a real story because you know all those Hollywood people weird.
It is based off of real stories that we're going to talk about through
I'm saying like TV shows. Who knows these like little stories?
Yes,
who know if they're real and they've happened?
Well, there are certain stories of MKUltra where they actually either injected and or used children in their experiments. And what we are going to talk about specifically...
Or little people.
Yes. Specifically, in this episode, we are going to talk about the forgotten victims of MKUltra. There's a lot of stories out there that a lot of people know, and you may know what they are, and I will get to a few of them eventually, but for now, we're going to just stick with the forgotten victims for the first hour of this podcast. So, back to how MKUltra started. Sorry.
This is Chatterbox, don't forget it.
This is Chatterbox. We be chatty, we get off topic, but that's what we do, bitch. Okay?
Bitch.
That's literally
It reminds me of Rick and Morty whenever that guy says bitch up to everybody like
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
it's the blue ones. I don't think it's the blue guys or something. I forget what you're talking about. Yes, I think it is the guy at the end. He's like, yes, but he's like, oh bitch. You know, there's like, oh, and it's Scary Terry. Oh yeah, it's Scary Terry. He's like, I'm gonna get you, bitch. Yes. Oh, I love the first couple seasons of Rick and Morty. I must admit, I've not watched the more recent ones, but
I need to watch it all again now. That's inspired me. That's my new favorite word. I say it at work all the time, and people are like,
I know people.
Did you just call me a bitch? And I'm like, no, it's an expression,
Well,
bitch.
names, I say like, it means I like you. If I call you a name, essentially. And I can't help it. What?
It's an expression, bitch.
Be like, that means I like you.
Bitch.
It's like SpongeBob.
I do that too. I don't understand your accent.
Okay, MK Ultra.
Okay, through Operation Paperclip, the CIA recruited Dr. Kurt Blom, a Nazi plague weapon expert who was in charge of MKUltra's aerosolized LSD test, which is actually a thing, where they would actually put either prisoners or platoons in a whole room, and they would spray LSD, and then sometimes there would be no light in the rooms, and you could just hear people screaming and, like, trampling each other. Yeah. MKUltra did that. And there's actually declassified 1952 memos that audit their work, and even in the memos, they write that they were ethically troublesome, and it provides some very unnecessary data that apparently they were accumulating for a long period of time until I reveal it later. Bitch.
Well, this bitch knows.
So, what were the 5 true goals of MKUltra? It was for mental weaponry. So, developing of drugs and or techniques to erase memories or implant false ones. And apparently, this was a success. Out of all of MKUltra and the things that they tried to achieve, they actually did make some victims forget their families, forget who they are, and become completely catatonic for sometimes the rest of their lives. And another goal of MKUltra was to produce a super spy creation. So they wanted to produce agents who could withstand torture through pain association. Oh shit, I don't know if I can say that on TikTok.
What?
I said I don't know if I'm supposed I don't know if I can
Okay, someone getting hurt.
Sorry.
GBH, like the court case with Chris Brown.
Yes. So
I'm like,
bodily harm. Sorry. There's certain things that I can say here on my podcast that I literally cannot say on TikTok. So we're trying to keep it kosher over here. It's the first time we've done a live through the podcast.
Oh my gosh, she's kosher.
So also, you guys listening should know we are actually recording live right now on TikTok. So if you want to follow us on TikTok, go to Chatterbox Podcast because we are doing a live at the same time as we are recording so you can see the real shit. But anyways, this is Chatterbox. Back to MKUltra. Through the super spy creation of MKUltra, they would have some of the victims of these various tests assume fake identities through what they called personality splitting. So this results in the victims having psychotic breakdowns, obviously, and we are actually going to tell their stories in just a bit. Another goal of MKUltra was to create a truth serum. So they wanted to perfect interrogation drugs like scopolamine and sodium pentothal. Sodium pentothal. Outcomes is the subjects would eventually confess to anything, but they would also confess to crimes that they did not commit. So, yes, truth serum was invented, but was it ethical? Fucking no. But did it also
ethical in this world?
Actually fucking work? Also no.
Dude, the fact that there's just so much shit that goes on in this world, a lot of bad, fucked up shit. I'm just glad that I'm blind to most of it because I don't want to see it all. We know it's there. We're aware. Don't show me it. Wish I could make it change.
I guess we're all drawn to horrifying things because if you are listening to this right now, disclaimer, you might be horrified. Because I was fucking horrified reading some of this stuff. When I was telling it to Eric yesterday on the porch, he literally was like, I can believe it, but I also don't want to believe it.
It's just one of those things, like, it's a very real thing, but to actually have to experience it in legitimate real life, visualize it, see it, is a whole nother thing. So we as people should not have to bear witness to that stuff, realistically, emotionally.
And one thing that I do want to say also is...
You don't remember what you were going to say? Maybe it was just
lost
a dud. Maybe you'll remember it when it was meant to be said.
That is so funny. About to say, I'm like, and
maybe you should take a drink of your coffee.
I haven't eaten today.
Me
it's almost oh shit, dog. Same.
Girl, me twins. Okay, that's fine. I probably do that. I usually drink a coffee and don't eat it on Sundays.
Oh, see,
because I'm like not like you get here. I don't really have time to go get food. I don't feel like it really.
Yeah.
I also don't really like to spend my money on stuff, so I'd rather just wait to eat.
Yeah.
That's how I try.
I've been fasting, so I've been like not eating as much, but I've been fasting 12 hours a day.
Drinking coffee and not eating ain't good for me, specifically because of like my low blood pressure and all that shit and my anxiety, like everything, because my heart's like and I need like food to eat. But I don't like breakfast food. Really,
I love breakfast.
I do, but I don't. Like I have pancake mix in there I can make. It's on the mood for it right now.
I made my son pancakes, but I didn't eat one of them.
I feel like if someone made me pancakes, I would eat them. But I don't feel like... I always cook.
Same.
Trapper, I don't trust him.
I always cook.
I just feel like he's going to mess something up. I just wish, because you see men online that just they're like, yeah, my man making me this dinner. I wish, but I'm fine with just cooking.
He would make fucking hot dogs and mac and
It's
cheese.
just like, would he put the right seasoning? Is
Oh,
he gonna overcook it? Like, is he gonna you know what I mean? Like, just basically not the way I would make it, which I make things certain ways and I make it good. Like when I make green beans, water, oil, butter, salt, pepper, chili flakes. I'll do some Parmesan cheese. My green beans are fucking good.
Fucking bougie with it. I just put salt, pepper, and butter on mine.
No, dude, so good. I learned this. The chili flakes, are the best invention for green beans. And do some red pepper chili flakes, and then if you like to do Parmesan, put a little bit of Parmesan on it. Let it fry up. Ooh, the crusty cheese, or it can be melted.
I should fucking do this tonight when I make dinner.
You should. Oh my god. They're like fans. Oh god, it's so easy. All you gotta do is put water. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of oil with the water and I'll let it steam. I'll cover it up, let it, soften. And then I'll dump out the water. Because actually most of the water will absorb. Don't put too much water though. You want to put like this much if you do.
But you get like the real green beans, not like out of a can.
Yes.
Okay.
I snap
would
mine.
need to get that.
I'm a fresh
baby. That is fucking bougie.
Is it really?
Yeah. I don't think I think I've only made those green beans a few times.
Oh girl, it's so easy. It's just
You need to step up my game.
So easy. I feel like you already do a lot. Good.
I've been cooking.
Girl, she makes food for her dogs, and I just started doing that. Do you still do that?
Yeah.
See, yeah, I've just started making I've been mixing real food with my dog.
So, okay.
My dog's food. God, with my dog. The fuck? Don't look at that.
Imagine being a dog and having to eat the same fucking thing every single day for the rest of your life.
I see online. It'll be like Monday, Tuesday. I've seen recently. It'll be like Wednesday, and it's the same thing. And I'm like,
yeah, imagine that's your life. That's why with my dogs, I actually make them. I will buy chicken gizzards or turkey or I've bought steak before just to be nice, but I'll cook it in water and I'll mix it with carrots and I'll give them like about, I would say like a scoop a day onto their food. Just one little scoop of food like this much.
Yeah, I do about a cup mixed with, a cup, and I'll mix it with those other foods.
Yeah.
And I pre-mix, I bought those little resealable baggies and I've been refrigerating them and I'll have like 5 days worth.
Yeah, and it's good for them.
And it's cheap.
Yeah, and sometimes I spoil them, but other times I just get chicken gizzards. Is good for dogs anyway.
Like I bought ground turkey. It's like it could even be $3. I got the lean ground turkey and then a couple vegetables. I mean, it's so cheap.
And also I get ginger root and I'll cut the ginger root and I'll boil it with it. And ginger is really good for dogs' stomachs. So ginger helps like move stuff along in their stomach, but it also helps them like if they have an upset stomach. So like ginger is actually really good for dogs.
So yeah, this is also a TED Talk about animal health.
Yeah.
So MKUltra and animal health.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we could see, just talk about our knowledge of things. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Participate it.
Yes. And make dogs some fucking food because they deserve it.
Even if it's just a little bit. It's so cheap because it's things that you could be eating on a daily, like potatoes or like their zucchini, an apple. Little pieces of these veggies could just go in their meal that you're not needing. Yeah. And really, it wouldn't feel like you're spending money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just do the little things for your dogs. They deserve it.
He's getting old.
Oh, quit. I don't address that. I don't. They're puppies forever. That's what I said.
It's just because his hip's been hurt more and more lately. He gets more like injured easy, and his hippies hurt. It's because of the pit. I know it is. Oh. You know how pits have hip problems. Yeah, and that's that sploof. The way he lays with his legs like this.
When he does that every day.
A lot of dogs do that. I think it causes his hip issue. But yeah. Anyway. Yep.
Sorry. Back to MKUltra. Anyways, MKUltra, bitch. Other goals of MKUltra was to do remote control assassins. So they would attempt to trigger violence through post-hypnotic suggestion and subliminal audio cues. And in reality, all test subjects be either became catatonic or they would attack random people. So, did this work? Hell no. But banana bread at work, do? Hell yeah.
Put the lime in the banana, mix it all up.
And then there's also the other goal of MKUltra, which was mass population control. And they would explore how small doses of LSD in water supplies affected certain people, certain groups of people. They would use TV flick rates to induce suggestibility. And this actually is what inspired modern conspiracy theories about chemtrails. Which, if you look up chemtrails, you're mostly going to get that it's a conspiracy, that it's not a real thing. And I'm pretty sure we all kind of know what chemtrails are because we see them every fucking day. But I digress. Back to MKUltra. And one thing about MKUltra that I'm pretty sure most people know about it, that it was an ironic failure. And by 1964, internal reports admitted that there were no reliable mind control methods that could be achieved through the use of psychedelics. And subjects would either break permanently or revert back to their normal state within 72 hours. And there's a lot of ethical concerns that outweigh any intelligence value. Yet the experiments continued for 9 years, not because it worked, but because of one operative that wrote, "We've burned too many lives to stop now."
Well, because some people get, if it's a scientist, they get obsessed with something, and if it keeps failing, it shows us in movies that they don't care and they'll keep trying no matter what the cost, and then until it's basically, too late.
Yes, and this is why it matters. Because the same national security justification that they use for modern surveillance is the same MKUltra techniques that evolved through enhanced interrogations post 9/11, and over 80% of victims of MKUltra were of the vulnerable populations, such as children, prisoners, and minorities. And the goal was not just science. The ultimate goal was the fantasy of power and to own the human mind. So they proved that in chasing this, that they can dissolve their own conscience. And this is real life. So this is not just a story. This is real life victims. So we do want to give respect to these victims and their stories. So now let's get into the CIA's forgotten victims, and that is the children of MKUltra. The year is 1955. A steel cart rattles down the hallway of Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, and on it, syringes of clear liquid. The children of Ward 7 do not know that they are about to be injected with LSD-25. 12-year-old Paul presses his face against a barred window in his room, and he has been told this is his behavioral problems that he's about to face. And when a nurse enters the room with a needle, she smiles and says, "This will help you sleep." Within minutes, Paul begins to scream as colors twist into what he calls monsters, a 12-year-old boy. No one comes to help. Behind a two-way mirror is a man in a lab coat that writes, "Subject 47. Hallucinations persist for 8 hours. Promising results." This is real life.
So they just wanted to see how long he can, I guess, be under the control?
Under the influence, yes, but they also want to see what he does in a room by himself.
Oh.
They want to see what the effects are.
Yeah, that'd be weird to watch.
It is weird, and the fact that they did it is really fucked up, and you can actually go on CIA.gov and get these stories. But they are hard to read, mind you. But you can read them there, or you can listen to us talk about it so then you don't have to go and read it.
Yeah, because Becca did all the work. Well, I had some work I did in the past, so if we end up having time, we can read it. But I think mine's more so you say not in the files, and it's said by so and so person, and there's not like, it's just him saying it. Like Donald Marshall, that whole thing with him.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like, even though he's saying it, it's not in like the files, right?
Can I borrow?
What? This?
Do you mind?
Which one? Yeah. I'm like, which one?
So we have the orphan experiments, which they called Subproject 131, a network of orphanages and hospitals that were children became the test subject. So in Montreal, Dr. Ewan Cameron, treats 14-year-old Sarah, a Cree girl who was stolen from her family, and began strapping electrodes to her scalp, and the machine starts to, I guess, make a lot of noise, and in the background there was a recording that says, "You hate your mother," and the recorded voice also finishes with, "You love science." So imagine being in a room with electrodes strapped to your face with just one thing repeating, and it's the sentence, "You hate your mother, you love science." After 8 hours of this, by the time it's over, Sarah cannot remember her own name, and the nurses wrote, "Successful memory suppression."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. 14.
I couldn't imagine, like,
14 years old.
just by talking and saying a sentence can make you forget everything.
Yeah.
Or not, like, just suppress it, I guess.
And they also had what is called a brothel laboratory. And in San Francisco in 1961, a apartment at 225 Chestnut Street hides a secret. And behind the velvet curtains inside, the CIA operatives watch through one-way mirrors as 19-year-old Linda is serving drinks to clients behind a apartment bar. She doesn't taste LSD in the whiskey that she has been served, and when the drug takes hold, Linda claws at her own skin, saying that there were spiders beneath the skin. And there were men behind the glass adjusting a tape recorder, and one says while recording, "Note, subject shows extreme terror to 40 micrograms of LSD. This is ideal for interrogation scenarios."
Oh my gosh.
By dawn, Linda is found watering the docks and babbling about faces in her walls at home, and her file is stamped with "terminated from study, no follow-up required."
Why?
They were done with her. They said she wasn't a good test subject. So, in 1973, a CIA officer feeds documents into a shredder, page after page of children's names, doses, and reactions, all eliminated from history. But some fragments still survived, and a single memo slipped through this saying, "Subject 47, Paul, male, age 12, exhibits permanent cognitive impairment after 23 LSD exposures. Recommend termination from program." In 2002, Paul dies, and his death certificate lists neurological degeneration. No autopsy, no investigation.
Yeah, it's because of people that are, whoever's doing the experiments obviously have authority, and nothing's being investigated or done because either one, that person doesn't have a family, They could have been raised in that lab, for all we know. The child.
Just like Stranger Things. That's what I think that Stranger Things is literally based off of real shit.
A lot of kids could go missing and then some get raised in a lab and that's all they know. Like that's what Donald Marshall said, that he got taken into a lab and he grew up there type of thing. And I don't know. These children, that's all they know, and so it's like basically they don't have to prove anything. And the government's like okay with it, obviously, because they're doing it.
Yeah, because they're involved.
So
well,
that's what gives them
allegedly involved, bitch.
allegedly
Sorry,
involved, but how else would they continue, right? Allegedly.
Yeah, we all know the government's doing some shady shit, but what that is, we can't specifically name, although we can speculate on it. But the doctors who worked in MKUltra retired with pensions from the government. And the buildings that they worked in were demolished and turned into luxury condos or apartment buildings. What?
Nothing. Nothing.
You stand very still in the right places of maybe an old hospital or a stairwell in San Francisco apartment building, you might be standing in the place where an MKUltra experiment happened. And during the MKUltra experiment, we know that there were children who never came home. And we're going to tell some of their stories.
Some kids that were taken.
Yeah. And we are going to talk about some of those stories right now. So, these are the stories of the children who never came home. The cribs stood in a perfect row at the St. Vincent Orphanage in Montreal. At night, when the nuns retired to their beds, bitch, the men from the MKUltra would come to this building and they would come with black medical bags. And they called children by numbers, never names. Subject number 12, a 7-year-old boy with a stutter, was injected LSD weekly to test his speech disruption, and by 1959, he could no longer form words at all. His case file reads, terminated, no observable utility.
It's like they basically took his voice away?
You're a 7-year-old boy who's injected with liquid LSD.
But he already had issues, right? Before that.
He had a stutter.
Oh, okay. Damn.
So, a lot of these experiments that they performed were horrifying. They changed the person to the point where they were terminated. What does that mean? Were they pew pew? Were they
offed?
It's possible.
Well, they do it in the most humanitarian, like you see in the movies where they say, like, oh, it's normal. Like, in the movie The Giver, you know, like when he finally sees what happens to the babies that aren't.
Oh, God.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like the people that are doing it genuinely think they're doing the right thing, right? And they don't think that they don't know the feeling of pew pew.
Yeah, and there's a certain depravity, I guess, that goes with manipulation and brainwashing, and MKUltra actually was trying to get to the bottom of this. And Subject 27 is a set of indigenous twins from Manitoba, subjected to 72 hours of sensory deprivation in ice-cold chambers. When extracted from the chambers, they clung to each other, humming tribal songs that the doctor could not understand. The notes simply state, primitive conditioning broken.
I wonder how they got those twins. That's another story that we probably won't know about.
Yeah, this was in one of the CIA documents, but it doesn't say where they got them from.
Well, yeah, they're probably not going to say.
And Then we have the women who disappeared from downtown. The neon sign at 225 Chestnut Street reads Pacific Research Associates. Inside, the walls were lined with soundproofing foam and two-way mirrors. And now we're going to go back to Linda. Linda was 19 when she was recruited for initiation through the glass of bourbon that was laced with 200 micrograms of LSD. When she drank the drink, shortly after, she was pulling her hair out. She was screaming, "Get them out of my skin." And observers also marked hysterical threshold established. She was last seen boarding a Greyhound bus in 1963 with no luggage.
I wonder who's seen her. Probably them.
Yeah.
Probably them.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but
There's an emergency outside. Emergency, emergency. Paging after beep.
that's fucking perfect emergency. But while this is going on, I'm just gonna
How can we go? And do different poses like.
and you like twerk on the ambulance. I'm just kidding.
That would be funny. Different areas that we twerk in the house. It'd be funny. Emergency, emergency. Like upside down by the fridge on the wall. Clips of it. That'd be funny.
To the window.
To the wall. The sweat drips down my, and then we'll grab a ball and put my feet on the ball. What? Girl.
Olive, get in. You're gonna be famous. Look.
And we need a little beep, and then it'll be like, pause for a commercial break with the dogs.
We also have the McGill University student who answered a paid sleep study flyer, and for 3 weeks they kept her in a white room with recordings that whispered, "You, Kyl, your mother." A 22-year-old student from McGill University answers a paid sleep study flyer. For 3 weeks, they kept her in a white room where recordings whispered, "You, Kyl, your mother," on a loop. She was released with $50 and no explanation, and she jumped from the Jacques Cartier Bridge in 1961. The coroner found chemical burns on her scalp. What? What's happening?
Need to do it.
What just happened?
Nothing.
I heard a loud noise, but
You didn't hear anything.
what was it?
You're hearing stuff.
What the fuck was it?
Nothing.
Did you open up TikTok?
No, I didn't mean to.
But then what was the sound?
It was a video, but I thought I had my phone down low.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is the real shit. You're getting the raw and
My
edited
phone did
version.
not listen to me earlier. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't want to play with it right now.
He just wants to show everybody. It's like, look what I
Don't
have.
you come over here to take it back.
We also have stories of the Veteran Administration Hospital in Palo Alto that kept special wards for non-responsive MKUltra patients. And by patients, I mean victims, because these people did not agree to being put under the influence. So James T., a 31-year-old Korean War POW, subjected to MKUltra's deep sleep protocol, upon waking up after 86 days in a barbiturate-induced coma, he woke up believing that he was still in Korea. And in 1972, he was found trying to dig a tunnel out of his own backyard with his bare hands. He was building a trench.
Oh god, that's like PTSD coming out deep, deep, deep within.
And Eleanor D., age 45, a housewife, was given electric shock for experiencing what she was diagnosed with, which was nervous exhaustion. And Dr. Cameron's team erased her ability to recognize her own children, and at one point, her husband wrote in a diary entry in 1967 saying, "Today she asked me if our daughter was our new maid."
Wow.
So some of these experiments really did work.
That's sad.
And memory was fucking
So it's
erased.
like, don't always just be doing any type of test subjects thing before you really know what you're getting yourself into, I guess. Because it can have lifelong effects, and they still do that kind of stuff where you can come in to this day and do, like, I mean, obviously it's not as probably as crazy as that, but you could be a test subject of other things.
I wonder if anybody listening has ever been involved in like a sleep study or something. Back to the MKUltra whistleblower stories. We have the whistleblower who vanished, and retelling the story. Dr. Richard went on the night of November 12, 1968, packed 3 boxes with documents marked MK Delta pediatric trials. And a janitor found his body the next morning and swore that his wrist showed ligature marks. And the police report called it a you know what I'm saying.
A suey.
Yes, a
suey-eyed.
Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, we can't, certain things we can't say on TikTok Live. We're keeping it kosher. And apparently, boxes reached the New York Times reporter who was waiting at an all-night diner and somehow got his hands on some of these boxes that Dr. Richard Wendt had. So that's how this even became publicized. And in 2019, urban explorers actually broke into the abandoned Allen Memorial Institute, and in the basement they found tiny handprints inside of soundproofing foam. They found children's mittens preserved in a broken wall panel. And they also found a tape recorder, one remaining spool that plays a boy's voice that was pleading, "Make it stop," in English, then in French, and then in silence. And the Canadian government has sealed the building, and no explanation was given for what the building was used for. We also have other stories of MKUltra victims. And remember, these are not ghosts. These are stories that have been attempted to be erased from history. And what we will be doing is speaking these victims' names into existence once again. Because it seems unreal reading these stories. It's almost like a disconnect from reality. Like sometimes like I'm like in the middle of it and I'm just like, this actually happened to somebody.
Yeah, and I hate, I'm an envisionary, I guess is the word for it, because when people explain things to me, I envision it. Mm-hmm. So I don't always like to envision what I hear.
Yeah, I'm a visual learner as well.
And then, but I mean, always sometimes if it's not good, it's a good thing, whatever, that's fine. I can't always visualize it. But if it's bad, I'm like, oh, I didn't want to visualize that in my head.
Kiki's an empath.
God.
Major empath, and I would say I am too. So, another story we have is the boy who forgot how to blink. This happened in 1962. The fluorescent lights never turned off in room 317 of Maryland's State Children's Center, and 6-year-old Daniel's eyelids were taped open while films of violent car crashes played on a loop. The goal was to determine the threshold for traumatic memory implantation. For 72 hours, researchers recorded how long it took before he stopped screaming, and when they finally removed the tape, his eyes remained wide open. Notes read, "The subject retains reflexive corneal response, but has ceased voluntary blinking. Daniel spent the next 40 years in psychiatric institutions, his eyes constantly weeping. Nurses called him the owl, and his medical chart never mentioned the burns on his temples where the electrodes have been.
It's the, what's that thing they did too? What's it called? Lobotomy.
Electroshock?
Well, also lobotomy.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what that is? Where they do the
You'll have to look it up.
lobotomy.
Our phones are over there.
Hold on. Lobotomy. It's where they did that stuff.
Ask Alexa.
Hey Alexa, what's lobotomy? Hey Alexa, can you tell me what lobotomy is?
A psychiatric disorder, a neurological disorder that involves severing connections in the brain's prefrontal cortex.
Thank you, Alexa.
Well, I don't think she really gave me the real answer I wanted, but it's where in the back in the days they used to like your brain and thinking that they cracked parts of your brain or something that would do something. That's what I thought.
That's part of the therapy, yeah. It's fucked up.
Yeah, and that fucked people's brains. Oh!
We have the story of the diner waitress who couldn't touch metal in 1959. Joanne worked the night shift at a roadside diner outside of Langley when a regular in the booth slipped something into her coffee. She didn't taste 250 micrograms of LSD. This was specifically LSD-25. By midnight, she was crawling through the parking lot, convinced that the pavement was melting. The man, observing the CIA operative Thomas C., observed from his car as she tried to climb a chain link fence. When her hands touched the metal, she screamed that it was burning her. His report noted successful conditioning aversion established. For the rest of her life, Joanne had a fear of touching metal. She could not hold any metal without gloves. And in 1987, she died of malnutrition. And the coroner never questioned why they found her huddled in a closet with dish towels around her. Because she couldn't be around metal, so she was trying to like...
Oh my god. I mean, that's crazy to where they physically made her... Which is, it's just like the same sensory of like where they say pain is all mental, right? Like we all feel pain, but really it's all up to, like the more you think about it, the worse it is really. So if you like try, like pain isn't really real. I mean, we all feel it, but it isn't, like it's something that, it's a thing in our brain. So they basically made another thing for that person. And so now, anytime they touch metal, they get a burning sensation, which, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
And
it's like, that's like real time children when you're playing lava. Like when you don't want to touch the ground. Her whole life was like avoiding metal, and it was lava to her.
And she couldn't eat with like a fork or a spoon because she couldn't have metal.
That's like her whole life playing that game.
Yeah. And there's more messed up stories.
That's crazy. That's what I resonate with it.
We also have the priest who confessed to murders that he did not commit in 1967. Father Michael's file was stamped with MKUltra Subproject 119, Religious Authority Susceptibility. They dosed his communion wine with scopolamine. After 3 weeks of treatment, he walked into a Boston police station sobbing. He was confessing to the unsolved Charles Rivers drownings, and the detectives were stunned until they realized that there were inconsistencies in his confession. And he said in interviews, "I can see the children in the water." The church quietly transferred him to a monastery in New Mexico, and the other priests found him on some mornings trying to scrub his hands raw in the baptismal.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
Your hands rubbed raw. Do you guys see that? Girl, and I just watched Final Destination recently, 1 and 2, because we're gonna go watch the new one in theaters with our friend.
Oh, that's why they're all on Max right now. They're like everywhere on Max.
Well, they're on there, but they've been on there, but they're in the top now because, yeah.
I didn't know that there was a new one coming out.
Oh my god, it's the 5th or 6th one, and oh.
We just watched the 5th one the other night.
So it's the 6th one, I guess. But oh my god. I can't look at all these things. My friend that I was with was just cackling at these deaths, and I'm like,
oh god, yeah.
I'm like looking away. I'm like,
damn.
The tanning bed one is the one I hate. I always and then these and the one where these logs come off the back of a truck on a highway and there causes this huge
number
wreck.
2. Yeah.
That one actually mainly happened to me. Like logs fell off of a truck. I didn't like hit my friend's car, my friend's mom's car when I was little, but
right.
like it didn't cause any accidents. But
I have those things.
I have one, yeah.
My glasses have been so dirty. I'm so bad at washing them. That's why I can't wear them.
Well, my butt does it to a lot of moments. You got rid of them?
Yeah, I've had those for a while, but they always...
It's just everything sucks into my ass cheeks.
Well, those are small, too.
They don't feel like...
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then we have the story of identical twins, Sarah and Emily, who learned each other's pain. Identical twins, Sarah and Emily, were 6 years old when brought into Dr. Cameron's lab. They strapped Sarah to a chair and administered electric shocks to her every time Emily said the word apple. Within a week, Emily stopped speaking entirely, and when researchers shocked Sarah in a perfect sink 30 feet away through concrete walls. So they had noted that they had successfully created telepathic conditioning. The sisters were separated after the experiments. Emily spent 12 years in a catatonic state while Sarah became a nurse, but quit when she kept fainting during patients' medical procedures, and she would scream that she could feel what they could feel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's really fucked up that the government was able to do this under our noses for that long.
Well, also without social media, people got a lot away with a lot more. It was just back then.
A different time. Then we have the story of the jazz musician who heard the control voices in 1961. They picked Malcolm for his perfect pitch, and the CIA wanted to know if sonic frequencies could trigger obedience. For 3 months, they piped 18 hertz infrasound into his basement apartment while he slept. By spring, he was telling his bandmates about the bass line that tells me what to do. Eventually, he stubbed, you know what I'm trying to say, a club owner who glowed red like the doctors, and he pleaded for insanity and was denied. Prison guards reported that he would press his ear to the ceiling wall and would say that he could hear the bass. His autopsy found that the cochleas in his ear had fused into solid bone.
What is that?
It's one of the parts in your inner ear.
That's weird.
I want to look it up.
The cochlea.
So if the cochlea were to become solid bone, it would result in profound hearing loss and total deafness.
That's what I was thinking. You couldn't hear anymore.
And the cochlea is the fluid-filled spiral-shaped structure in the inner ear. When sound waves enter the ear, they cause vibrations in the fluid in the cochlea, and they stimulate the hair cells, and then the hair cells convert to mechanical signals into electrical signals that are sent to the brain through the auditory nerve. Bitch.
Boom,
and that was science, bitch.
We are putting ourselves out there, and not everybody does. So,
thumbs
up to that.
back to the MKUltra stories. For those listening on the not live, we just took a break. Now we're back. The nurse who smuggled evidence into her blouse in 1973, which, by the way, these are MKUltra stories.
And MKUltra is something that's very much here, and if you've heard about it, these are just past stories of people that you don't know. If you really look into MKUltra, there's celebrities that are believed to be controlled. I'm just gonna, like Britney Spears. People believe that she has a clone and she is MKUltra controlled, so...
Allegedly.
Donald Marshall, if you want to look into him, TikTok, look Donald Marshall up.
The theories are out there.
They're very much there. But these are just the real facts that the government actually lets you see and read about, and that you might just not know about these people, because we know about the celebrities and stuff, but these aren't the people that we know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So these are the forgotten MKUltra stories.
And it's just like the start of it, and it just shows you how it can be, and how there's many people in the world that just get taken and no one really knows, and they're just used for humanity's, evil. I don't know. Because in every movie we see that humans just can't get enough. They want power. They just want it and want it and want it. So,
Well, when it comes to the nurse who smuggled evidence into her blouse, Allison F. worked nights at Allen Memorial Institute when the order came to destroy all records from Ward C. As she fed files into the incinerator, one document actually fell to the floor, and it was a child's EEG readings from experiment number 227, which showed brainwaves flatlining after 90 minutes of sensory deprivation. She slipped this into her bra. For 3 weeks, Allison tried to contact journalists, and then the phone calls started, and the phone calls were going to her home phone, which in 1973 was one of those, connected to the wall phones. And the first person who answered said, "Your daughter takes the 4:15 bus from St. Catharines, doesn't she?" And on July 4th, 1973, she mailed the document to Senator Frank Church with a note, and she said, "They're erasing it. Stop them." The next morning, Allison's car veered off of Highway 15 near the U.S. border, and the police report said, "No skid marks." The document reached a church in 1975 and became key evidence that forced the first MKUltra hearings.
Really? There was hearings for it?
This is when it was first coming out.
Yeah. So you don't really know much about none of this stuff.
This was in 1973.
My mom was, or mine. I was gonna say she was born in like, I think 80. I don't know. I'm not even gonna think about that right now. I'm a piece of shit for not.
I try not to think about it.
I think it is 75 or 74.
Yeah, I think that my parents were 75.
Well, my mom's like 50. Or is it 85? It has to be. Because I'm 95 or 96. So yeah, it was 75. Damn, common sense. No, I didn't. I was second guessing myself, and I wasn't having common sense.
Yes, funny.
Bitch.
Bitch.
Wasteful coffee.
I'm so bad.
Drink all her coffee.
Drink some, please.
I don't want it.
Okay. I tried. We have the spy who talked in code in 1975. Robert L. was a CIA communications officer who developed a sudden allergy to tape recorders. After transcribing the Dr. Gottlieb's meeting notes, the person who developed LSD, at a 1975 Senate hearing, he testified via carefully worded letters. Regarding your inquiry about the agricultural projects, the corn was indeed harvested in Quebec. The yield was 86 heads. Through only remained 12 viable after storage. This is the translation. 86 children tested at McGill, 12 survivors. Did you know that during Senate hearings, they speak in code? Not the whole time, but some of it.
Yeah, because they can't say literally what that stuff means, per se, because I feel like at the end of the day, they've made it very clear that the public can't handle the truth, so they give it to you in very small amounts. And then it's up to you to decide, I guess, whether or not you believe it, or if it is something they're trying to show you.
Yeah. And 3 days later, Robert vanished during a fishing trip in Alaska, and his notebook washed ashore with the only legible page saying, "Midnight climax was just beginning. They moved to cruise ships after the year 69. Ask about orchids."
Cruise ships? What moved the cruise ships?
That's a code.
Oh.
I don't know what
I'm
this
like,
code
I've been
translates
cruising
to.
lately. What the fuck are on a cruise ship since 69?
That's a code for something, although we'll probably never know what that means. At least I don't.
Maybe ChatGPT knows. Just kidding.
Maybe later. Wish I could use my phone, but phone's in use. The journalist who received the posthumous confession in 1977, on the night before his end of lifing, investigative reporter Ben W. left an envelope taped beneath his desk that contained a photo of the doctor who created LSD, burning documents in 1973, a list of 14 MKUltra researchers with home addresses, and a cassette tape labeled "For When I'm Gone." The tape held 37 seconds of a man sobbing. "They made me do things to children. Oh God, the one who stops blinking." Followed by "Pew Pew." The police never investigated his death. No autopsy.
Oh,
The Washington Post ran a 3-paragraph obituary calling it a tragic end to a troubled career.
dude, there's so much crap that goes on in homes. I mean,
You have no idea what goes on behind closed doors.
just everything goes on awful, and then you really appreciate, you're like, I am a good person. You're like, wow, I am doing some good in this world. Wow. Like, you don't really think, you're like, oh, maybe I'm not too far off.
Yeah. It's really fucked up to think what goes on behind closed doors.
I mean, I just seen this lady that did the puppy mill thing and just in her basement, and it was just awful conditions, stapling the dog's tails together after she clipped the puppy's tails with like nail clippers, and someone like outed her about it, and she did it in the bottom of her basement of her house, and it was just gross. And it's just like, you never really know what's going on and how long that's been going on to animals, to anybody, a person, animal, spirit, experiment, just anything that goes on on top of labs. That shit goes on in houses too. Right, could be in your neighbor. It could be right, not right
In your fucking apartment.
Could be right around here. You don't even know what people are fucking doing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't want to fucking know, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna want to know more, and I don't need to know more. I'm like, I know it. I know enough.
In 2014, an 82-year-old woman mailed a stack of files to Harvard's ethics board. The return address led to a vacant lot. Inside were children's drawings from Ward C with dates matching the missing subjects, a 1969 memo, "Terminate all orchid assets before church gets curious," and a modern pharmacy receipt for sodium thiopental. And this is the same as what is known as the truth serum used in MKUltra. The package disappeared from the evidence room within 48 hours. And I will be verifying this information in my YouTube podcast episode, so give us a subscribe, please, a like, and a follow. I will be referencing where I got this information if you want to look at it for yourself. these voices from the MKUltra, the voices from the lost victims, were meant to be erased by our U.S. government. And what we're doing is speaking them into existence again.
Because a lot of people might not even think to look or know about these things, but they're very real and they happen in the past, and who knows about now.
And the truth doesn't always burn. Sometimes the truth waits in the ashes where we fucking find it in the middle of nowhere. Cause you ain't finding this shit on the internet. I got some of this shit from books. Some of the stuff I couldn't find on the internet.
And and you guys have seen lately how they're trying to ban a lot of books from our history. So a lot of truths that are in books.
There's a whole banned books thing on TikTok that people
I honestly want to find it. I think there's people that still like keeping those banned books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to know what's in those books. Why are you wanting to ban it? What series are they trying to ban that's like very common? I'll have to look it up.
Hold on.
There's a series, I think it was The Hunger Games.
No
The Hunger
way.
Games. They're going to stop, you can look it up. They're going to stop selling, I've heard this. They're going to stop selling The Hunger Games because they don't want people to rise up, right? Like how they went up against them.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? Like District 1. The Capitol, they went up against the Capitol, and they don't want people. They're getting rid of like basically movies where people get ideas to, fight back.
Whoa, 13 reasons why? So the following time, okay, as of 2025, book bans in the United States have surged dramatically with over 10,000 instances of reported during 2023 and 2024 school year alone, a nearly 200% increase from the previous year. These bans are predominantly targeted books such as race, racism, LGBTQ themes, and or sexual content. What?
The Handmaid's Tale, see? Right there, there's The Handmaid's Tale.
What? I didn't know this. The Kite Runner? I have this book at my house. Water for Elephants? I've read that too.
It's banned in Texas and Alaska, The Kite Runner.
What the fuck? Regional hotspots for book bans: Florida, Texas, Utah, and Alaska. And then in San Antonio, bookstores like Nowhere Bookshop and Guadalupe Latino Bookstore are providing safe spaces for access to banned literature. Oh my god, that's interesting as fuck. Alright.
The more you know.
Yes.
So sometimes I know it's like people don't want to be online. I force myself because then I don't like to know about the bad stuff, but I want to know about the stuff that is kind of hush hush, but it's like it's there for you to see, but it's like if you don't really look for it, then you're not going to find it. But it's there. Just like all those weird TikToks of all the national parks. They're making videos like, come here where it's wetter. Like, they're like dirty TikToks. Like, it's just funny.
To watch those. You have to see. Alright. Back to MKUltra. Sorry, we're Chatterbox. We get chatty. Bitch. We have the story of the woman who could not stop drowning in 1965. Subject 428, Ellen P., age 22, a waitress from Detroit. A steel tub slowly fills as Dr. Cameron adjusts his stopwatch. Ellen's arms were strapped to the sides, her head secured in a restraint that allowed only her nose above the water. He said, "This test is supposed to help cure your anxiety." After 47 consecutive nights of anxiety-inducing treatment, they subjected her to aquatic aversion therapy, holding her underwater until her body went limp and then reviving her. Then repeated the process while playing a recording of her mother's voice saying, "You've always been a disappointment."
What the hell?
Yeah, this will help your anxiety, bitch. Like, what the fuck?
It'll basically just make you more just susceptible to submitting, it seems like. I don't know.
Well, I actually have a quote from her 1982 interview with the Montreal Gazette. She says, "Even now, when it rains, I taste chlorine, and my lungs remember. I'll be standing in my kitchen and then suddenly I begin gasping, clawing at my throat. My daughter will find me on the floor with towels soaked from trying to mop up phantom water. Her medical records show that in 1971, Ellen admitted herself into the ER 14 times for self-induced dry drowning episodes. The attending psychiatrist, a former MKUltra consultant, wrote, "Hysterical conversion disorder, no organic cause." Trying to cover their own tracks. We have subject 117, David, age 8, in the Waverly Children's Home. They kept him in a plexiglass box for 3 months, pumping in different scents with combinations of administering electric shocks. Lavender would be pain, rotten eggs, the smell, would be the reward scent, and the synthetic smell of his own scent, like through sweat, meant extreme pain. By week 6, David could identify researchers' stress levels by their scent alone. His case file read, "Subject accurately predict Nurse J's marital troubles 3 days before her husband left." From a 2004 FOIA released audio transcript of Dr. Lashley, Dr. Lashley is quoted saying, "The kid is a bloodhound now. Pissed himself when the director walked in yesterday. Turns out the man had a early stage of pancreatic cancer. We might have accidentally created a diagnostic tool." David spent his adult life as a recluse in Maine, burning scented candles 24/7. His end-of-lifing note read, "The whole world smells like a shock room." These stories are fucked up.
Yeah, they don't even seem real.
Mm-hmm.
But they are. That's the weird part about it all.
We have the dancer whose legs betrayed her in 1961. This is MKUltra Subject 309. Age 19, Juilliard student. Is it Hilliard or is it Juilliard?
Juilliard?
Juilliard student.
Juilliard is like the arts.
It's like an
Juilliard,
arts.
yeah.
Okay. We have Margaret. They injected her calves with a paralytic toxin, then forced her to perform ballet routines under strobe lights while LSD was distorting her perception. The goal was to determine if muscle memory can overcome neurological sabotage. From Margaret's 1978 testimony to the church committee, she said, "Until my toes shattered inside of the point bones."
That's like, I think the paraquat or something. It's like, they tippy toe and they spin.
Mm-hmm. She said that the doctors would applaud when she would fall, saying, "Again, like I was some wind-up toy." She lifts her skirt during this testimony to reveal that she had scars on her calves. Her nerves would fire randomly, and some nights she would wake up while doing ballet moves in her sleep. She said, "My body will still perform while sleeping, and I have no control."
That's insane.
A recently uncovered ledger shows the CIA paid $12,000 to settle her lawsuit in monthly installments of $200 to ensure continued compliance.
So they hush her with $200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
No amount of money can change that. Was that what had affected her life?
I'm waving at Kyla's live, and hello guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Bear with us though. This is our first time going live and podcasting, so I think we'll just get more used to it as we do it.
Yes. So hope you guys are enjoying.
Get more used to it.
We have the story of the telephone operator who heard too much. This story is so interesting to me. I can't imagine being this person. I would be so invested. So we have subject 592, MKUltra subject Rose M., age 31, a Bell Systems employee. For 18 months, CIA technicians spliced subliminal messages into her switchboard headset. At 7:15 a.m., it would say, "You're enjoying obeying," hidden in dial tones. At 2:30 p.m., an 18 hertz pulse would trigger nausea. And at 5 p.m., a reverse recorded Hebrews Psalms would play through her headset. From Rose's diary, found in her attic in 2011, she writes, June 3rd, 1968. The voices say I should cut air circulation to the next caller. Dr. White promises extra rations if I last until Friday. The girl in the next booth already ate her own fingers.
Ooh.
Rose was institutionalized after attacking a supervisor with a letter opener, and her treatment records list chronic auditory hallucinations, but omit that her therapist was Dr. Cameron's protege. This one is an unnumbered subject. This is apparently the janitor who found some CIA tapes from MKUltra. The unnumbered subject, Carl W., was age 54 and a CIA building custodian. While cleaning room 2137, Carl discovered a cache of audio reels labeled Termination Interviews. The first tape held his own voice from a 1954 recording saying, "I consent to the procedures," although he said he had no memory of this. From a handwritten letter, which was written to Senator Church, he said, they made me forget, the tapes. Oh my God. God help me, I recognized other custodians' voices too. We're all part of the cleaning crew that cleans itself. Carl disappeared on March 15, 1973. From the same day, Gottlieb ordered all MKUltra records to be destroyed. His mop bucket contained a single reel with 30 seconds of a man screaming in Russian, then speaking perfect English. The winter protocol is active. Tell Dr. G the orchids are blooming. Remember, again, these are not just victims. They are living crime scenes, and their bodies are the fucking documents. We have actually acquired some MKUltra LSD dosing schedules reconstructed from declassified documents. So I have a chronological breakdown of the institutionalized tartar. I can't say the word.
T-O-R-T-U-R-E.
Can't say the word, but you know what we're saying.
Can you spell it?
I don't know if it's gonna catch it.
T-O-R-T. The bad thing.
We have from 1953 to 1957 the baseline eraser protocol. Target population: 42 male prisoners at the Kentucky State Penitentiary. Dosing matrix. Day 1, 25 micrograms to establish tolerance. Day 3, 75 micrograms at 45-minute sensory deprivation. Day 5, 200 micrograms and electric shock to peak hallucination. Day 7, 400 micrograms plus traumatic narrative implantation. Subjects were told that they had end-of-life family members of their families.
Oh my God.
We have a survivor account. His name is Joe. He said they'd strap you down screaming about the blood on your hands. Oh God, I don't know if I can say that. B-L-O-O-D.
Screaming about the red stuff on their hands.
Yes. Then showed doctored photos of their children in coffins. After the fourth dose, I signed a confession to Lindbergh saying that I had kidnapped my baby just to make it stop. Documentation that supports this is a CIA memo EOK-7129 from 1954. The note says, at 400 micrograms, 78% of subjects developed false memories with 94% confidence in their own authenticity. We have the Pediatric Regression Series from 1958 to 1962. Target population, 17 children from ages 6 to 12 in the St. Vincent Orphanage. Here are the dosing schedules. 50 micrograms weekly. Only showing night terrors. We have day 3, 100 micrograms biweekly, scopolamine, speech reversal in children who began speaking backwards. No percentage. Day 6, 200 micrograms plus 5 milligrams dexedrine plus isolation tank equals catatonia or catatonic state in 71%. A leaked nurse diary entry from this orphanage says April 12, 1960, subject number 3, age 7, has been crawling on all fours and barking for 72 hours. The doctor says this demonstrates successful canine neural pathway activation. Ordered double dose the next day. Termination note. Discontinue subject number 3 after 900 micrograms cumulative. Irreversible species dysphoria noted. So the child never stopped acting like a dog.
It's like those hypnosis things where they can make you act like an animal.
Yeah.
So it might be a real thing then. It's like that movie, I think Get Out, when that guy goes to his girlfriend's family's house finally, and they're I think this is like a form of MKUltra. So essentially, the mother has like a hypnosis, and basically, the point of view of the guy is him sinking into his body, and them taking control of it. And you see that there's other people that came to visit this guy, and it seems as if they're like, I don't know, someone's gonna pick him out, and they're gonna want his body, and then somehow they're moving their minds into these younger bodies, and that movie's fucked up. It's one of those newer movies you have to have heard of it. Get Out.
Yeah, you should.
It's good. It's good. It's fucking crazy, actually, though.
I should watch it again.
It really makes you have a perception of what it could do, a form of mind control, because basically once she says a certain word and gets you, you drop into your body. You have no control. You can see them looking at you, and you're sinking deeper into your conscious where you can't have control, essentially, is what it is.
I need to watch this again.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking crazy. All those movies. They put these movies out here. Someone has seen something somewhere.
Messaging, yeah.
They say that the government and the media puts out things slowly that way. Mm-hmm. So Ellen DeGeneres moved away. She moved out of the country. Where'd she go? She moved to the UK. After all this Diddy stuff started,
I'd not been following.
She was out.
Oh shit.
She got the fuck out. Everyone thinks it's because of that, but allegedly, you think what you
bitch.
Scary Derry.
We also have Operation Midnight Climax from 1955 to 1963, and the target population was unwitting bar patrons and sex workers in San Francisco. And this was used in covert delivery methods. We have the Gin Blossom, which is a cocktail filled with 150 micrograms of LSD plus 3 ounces of gin, which offsetted the initial, onset of it for 18 minutes. So you would drink this, and 18 minutes later you would be tripping balls.
Fuck that, dude. That's a lot.
And they also injected cigarette filters with 50 micrograms that would absorb through the lips with an onset of 11 minutes. So imagine somebody being like, hey man, can I have a cig? That cig's laced with LSD. Imagine that. I mean, I guess your cigarette can be laced.
I have so many questions that I'll never have answers to, and I ask dumb questions, but it's...
No, I mean, everybody wants to know the why. Just ask ChatGPT. Just kidding. ChatGPT can't help with everything.
There's just not answers to everything
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. Sometimes there is no answer for fucking crazy psycho shit that happens.
No, there isn't.
We have the God Helmet trials from 1969 to 1971. Target population is 12 theology students who were dosed with LSD and electromagnetic stimulation. On day 1, 100 micrograms of LSD was used to baseline mystical experiences. Day 3, we have 50 micrograms plus 20 hertz of parietal lobe stimulation. Then we have day 5, 200 micrograms plus 40 hertz of frontal lobe stimulation. Dr. Gollieb's notes state, at 40 hertz plus 200 micrograms of LSD, subject number 7 drew accurate schematics of our Langley facility despite never visiting. Recommend immediate termination of this line. Survivor outcome. 3 subjects joined cults, 2 became militant atheists, and subject number 7 was found dead and his tongue removed.
Ooh. Well, you removed that tongue. Either you were in a weird ritual, or they came and found you so you wouldn't speak.
So you wouldn't speak, yeah. We also have the termination cocktail, used on many failed experiments from 1971 to 1973. 50 micrograms of LSD was used to induce a psychotic break. 10 milligrams of pancuronium bromide would induce paralysis. And 0.5 milligrams of atropine would prevent screaming. Autopsy report of Ellen P. showed lungs exhibiting dry drowning pathology despite no water exposure. Cerebral cortex showed lesions consistent with 900 plus cumulative micrograms of LSD exposure over 3 years in time. Just remember that MKUltra wasn't just using pharmacology. They were using weaponized neuroscience. Every dosage is a war crime. And MKUltra also had secret laboratories.
Those are the ones was Brittany was at.
So I have, before we end for the day, we have what MKUltra actually achieved. That's what's coming up next. The hidden laboratories.
In the know to me, in the know.
So, primary facilities and their disguises. We have the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, Canada. The cover was a psychiatric hospital run by McGill University. The true purpose was psychic driving experiments. Then we have 225 Chestnut Street in San Francisco, California. The cover was a Pacific Research Associate, and the true purpose was a Operation Midnight Climax brothel lab hybrid. That's where they would, do the alcohol poisoning and, recruiting people through CIA chartered bullshit. We have the Edgewood Arsenal in Maryland. It was an Army chemical weapons facility. The true purpose was to do LSD aerosol test. So putting a bunch of people in a room and spraying aerosol LSD.
Oh, God, they just can't let go of putting all kinds of LSD.
We have the Orchid cruise ship. This is mobile and covert labs. The cover was a Caribbean luxury liner known as the SS Santa Rosa. The true purpose? Isolated LSD trials on disposable subjects such as homeless men.
Because they can do things without consequence in the water, usually, is what I've heard. That's why that guy, the Scientology guy, I think, he went out and did all that stuff on a boat for years because he knew he could do it without getting in trouble. He was fleeing the country.
We also have the fate of the Orchid cruise ship. And the fate of the Orchid cruise ship was, it was scuttled off to the Bahamas in 1972 with 12 staff on board. So 12 staff.
Still aboard. What happened to the other people?
Disposable.
They put them out where they do, the tanks where they go number 2.
We also have the Canadian Arctic Station from 1959 to 1962. The cover was a weather research outpost, and it actually was a testing for LSD subjects in extreme environments such as extreme colds. The key finding here was that subjects would hallucinate heat so intensely that they would strip naked while it was freezing cold.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, it really just shows you what your mind is capable of.
It also shows me that you never know what's behind a building. Through MKUltra, they would recruit, and they have the first approach, which is known as the Black Book approach. CIA recruiters would target medical students and would offer $25,000 a year to pay off their debt. They would also recruit Nazi scientists via Operation Paperclip. Dr. Kurt Blom was a Nazi scientist. And they would also approach criminals facing life sentences and offer pardons for service. So they would say you're pardoned if you will become our lab rat.
So it's basically it's fucked either way. You don't got a choice. You might as well just be a lab rat instead of dying.
We also have a way that they covered their traps.
I'd rather die.
What?
Maybe I'd just rather die.
What, than be a test subject?
Because who knows what that is going to do to me.
Yeah.
In the long run. Right?
We also have the ghost workforce. So I would say most of the technicians who worked in these facilities were given false identities, and they were paid in untraceable gold bars.
Gold bars?
Yeah, like real gold.
Oh.
So they weren't paid in cash. They weren't paid in payroll. They were paid in gold.
Hell yeah.
And they also, eventually, the technicians became tests.
The technicians became tests as well?
Mm-hmm. Where did the labs go? Where did the chemists go? Well, for the MKUltra chemists, they were hired by Big Pharma, such as Pfizer and Eli Lilly in the 1970s. Dr. Sidney...
Allegedly.
Huh?
I said Big Pharma's a bitch, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly a bitch.
Dr. Sidney Gottlieb retired to a leper colony in India, claiming to, quote-unquote, atone.
I've heard that word, atone. Where have I heard that word before?
Atoning for your sins?
Probably, who knows?
Probably through The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of atone.
They be atoning. Goddamn.
Yeah, I was like, where have I heard atone? Yeah, I've watched all seasons of Handmaid's Tale besides this new one, so.
It's good.
Elizabeth Moss is a good actress.
She is good as hell, dude. I love her.
She's such a good actress. Like, sorry, all the other ones, they all suck compared to her. I'm just kidding.
The end of season 2 really got me. I'm like, oh my god.
This is gonna get crazier.
God.
Then you're not ready for it.
We also have the silenced witnesses. There's 12 key personnel for the MKUltra that died in 1975 to 1977. Whether by end-of-lifing on their own or accidents. 5 technicians were entered a witness protection program, and given new identities. There's also unsolved disappearances, such as Dr. Harold Abramson, a LSD pioneer that vanished in 1980 during a dive off of the Key West. Then we have one of the nurses in the Montreal said that her skeleton was found in 2001 with 1957 CIA security badge still on her rib cage. What happened to these nurses? The ones who they thought would talk, they may have...
Or if they said this isn't right.
Yeah.
Then they got...
There is documentary evidence that I will put links to or places where you can find them in my YouTube episodes. I did say earlier that in 2019, urban explorers found a fully stocked 1950s era lab beneath a Vermont asylum, and there were vials that they took videos and pictures of that said LSD-25, MKUltra. Who left that intact, and who knew it was still there?
Who went digging? Who went out of their way to go look for that?
I don't think that they were looking for it. It was
no,
just,
but like they were just doing something normal.
Yeah.
And they came across it. You know?
I love going to abandoned places so much.
Yeah, I want to go to one.
I used to do it all the time until I got arrested twice.
You got arrested for it?
Twice.
Well, maybe we shouldn't go to abandoned places.
Yeah, I had to pay some fines. I almost went to jail. I have a mugshot out there somewhere, but you'll never find it because I can't find it. It's been deleted.
I know, but where was it at? Where did you get in trouble at?
Brooksville, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, the most whole state I've ever been through.
Yeah, we found this on accident, but we were looking for it, but we didn't mean to actually find it. It was an abandoned Air Force base.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck? Who'd you go with?
One of my ex-friends. We're not friends anymore, but I wish we were. Kat, I miss you. I wish we could be friends again.
Wait, why? What happened?
She got mad at me because she was getting evicted from her apartment, and
Oh, yeah. I remember that story. Yeah, I remember that story.
threw her cats on me, and then I couldn't
remember.
keep her cats. It's okay, I can say it. I couldn't keep her cats because they were really... I already have 3 animals, and the other 2 cats were not doing well with
It
my
was longer
animals.
than what she had made it seem.
Yeah.
Basically, she put the cats and basically left her to either find a home for the cat or watch it, and for like... Oh, she made it seem like it would be like a couple months, but then it was
But then she said she could never take them again.
Yeah, she basically just put the cats on her, and then now she's not her friend, so...
Yeah, I really wish that we could have, like, moved on from, like, that, but, like, she would, like, never apologize for, like, throwing the cats on me like that, and I tried to help, but she, like, accused me of, like, not trying to help, even though I kind of did, but that's the gist of the story. Sorry, I'm spilling my beans right now, but... But I do have the names of the urban explorers. It's Jason Ritter, Leah Cho, and Marcus Dyer. They entered the Blackwood State Asylum in Vermont on their YouTube channel called Forgotten Foundations. Jason's camera footage was later deleted from part of when he showed, dude, this isn't just an asylum, look at this shit. Camera pans to a steel door marked Authorized Personnel Only Project 68. The group discovered a fully preserved 1950s laboratory hidden beneath a false basement wall. Vials labeled LSD-25.
It's so cool to find something like that.
I know, right?
God,
lucky them.
I wonder, can it go bad either?
What?
Liquid LSD.
Y'all
Y'all figured it out. Can liquid LSD go bad?
Just a question. We don't know.
I just want to know.
It also shows in their YouTube video a logbook with entries like Subject 227, 400 micrograms plus 10 hertz pulse equals cardiac arrest in 8 minutes. Optimal? Question mark. Yeah. So, what happened after this initial video in 2019? Well, The clip went viral with over 2 million views in 48 hours. And a lot of comments were claiming to recognize this from Edgewood Arsenal. Within 72 hours, YouTube removed the video for violating community guidelines. Jason's channel received a legal threat from a firm named Blackwood Historical Preservation LLC, a shell company with no online presence. That's the fucking government trying to cover their tracks, allegedly. And Jason's channel received many legal threats. Before the video was deleted, Reddit users archived 4 seconds of the footage showing a refrigerator stocked with blood bags labeled S compounds, a 1957 memo pinned to a corkboard, Phase 3 trials using orphans first, and then questions. Theories on why the lab was still intact. The lab was too pristine, so maybe they wanted to keep it like a museum. I don't believe that. Then there's the breakaway faction, so maybe former MKUltra scientists are still active. Maybe. Then, I don't know, maybe a whistleblower knew about this and was waiting for the right time.
Probably. Someone knew about, but you can't just go right in if you have information. You have to do it right, stealthily.
The biggest question here is, why did the CIA or someone else leave a fully stocked MKUltra lab waiting to be found? And more chillingly is, how many more labs are still out there?
Oh, there's a lot still, allegedly.
Probably. Probably.
I mean, how do you think? It was very much a thing those days, allegedly, with celebrities and such. Figures of power. There. Look at me speaking backwards.
She's hypnotized herself now.
I come in peace. I just watched Young Sheldon yesterday, and he was like, "I'm Spock." Like, what the? This is a good. Can people?
I can, kind of. But I can't, close it. It's hard to close it. We have now the true purpose and legacy of MKUltra. And then we're going to end it here. This is the declassified post-mortem of CIA's most notorious mind control program. The official goals was to create hypnotic assassins, to perfect interrogation drugs, to erase and or implant memories, mass mind control using aerosolized LSD and LSD through water. What did MKUltra actually achieve? A manual of human breaking points. Discovered that 72 hours of sensory deprivation plus a lot of LSD can cause permanent psychosis. No shit, bitch.
Like, you already have issues if you're alone for a certain amount of time. I can't imagine getting drug-induced, being alone, and then having to deal with whatever happens alone in that room alone for days. I mean, what human actually does that? Not someone that chooses it, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We have advanced torture techniques. Can't say the real word, but you know what I'm saying. And they wanted to perfect methods of enhanced interrogation through pharmaceutical means and via pain. We have the corporate and government spin-offs. Big Pharma. Eli Lilly used MKUltra data to develop Prozac, allegedly.
And Prozac, we know that does.
It's an SSRI inhibitor, I think. And we have the military modern training borrows are from MKUltra's resistance studies. So these are SERE trainings. So if you're a military, maybe if you know what that is, put it in the comments, because we don't. And advertising uses subliminal messaging techniques that were pioneered in these labs. The bitter irony is that the total cost of MKUltra was $25 million in 2024 dollars. Verifiable successes? 0.
To them, I think they thought they succeeded.
Oh, for sure.
Scientists that are mad think that even if it's not a good experiment, that it's something. Like, they'll obsess about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's created this whole stir of online activity about MKUltra, and I mean, everybody who knows about conspiracies knows about MKUltra, even if it's a little bit. And a 1970 internal memo was shown and whistleblowed, saying, "We haven't created super spies, just broken people, but the methods to break them, those work exceptionally well."
So it's like they failed what they were wanting to find, but they found another way of, like, probably T-O-R, whatever, Tortuga.
Tortuga.
They found another form of it, and a form of, like, what they do to this day in, like, interrogation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where they keep you in there for hours alone, and they keep coming back and asking you the same thing. It's like, I will never admit to something I know I didn't do, bitch. Like, you're not going to keep me here for days to where I crack. And that's essentially what a lot of these tests are like. They're like, they keep you there until you just admit, like that one had said, like, oh, I did that to my kid or something. Like,
yeah,
you didn't even do it, but you're going crazy, so you just admit it. You hold me in there for days. I'm going to make you go crazy because I'm never going to say it.
That's modern day hypnosis.
We're going to say it. Yep.
But it could happen to you if they kidnapped you and put you in a white room.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, but...
Just saying. It could happen, but
it's possible, but I would fight for my life. I'd hold on to my dear soul. Because she's a strong, fiery heart. She's a strong girl.
What is the modern legacy of MKUltra? The survivors still fight for recognition. Canada pays $100 million to victims in 2018. There's monarch conspiracy theories that borrow MKUltra's aesthetic but lack evidence. And the Guantanamo interrogation manuals contain uncanny parallels to the 1950s LSD experiments. MKUltra failed at mind control, but succeeded in proving how easily you can shatter someone's humanity.
And manipulate the brain. Mm-hmm. How much manipulation can be done to your brain is crazy.
And the darkest lesson is that controlling minds is all about how evil can a bureaucracy be. I mean, that's our government. How evil. The last thing before we end it is the 10 essential truths, the takeaways from this. Number 1, this is fucking real. This is not fake bullshit. This is real. So there are 5,000 documented victims, including children, prisoners, and saxophone workers. Officially confirmed by Senate hearings in 1975 and through declassified documents. The goal of MKUltra, the ultimate goal, is mind control. To create hypnotized persons to do said things, or to develop truth serums and mass population control methods, which are probably still going on today in some form or fashion.
Allegedly they are. I know they are. Allegedly.
And MKUltra failed spectacularly. No reliable candidates were ever produced that we know of. And LSD and Tortuga, you know what we're saying, caused psychosis and uncontrollable behavior. The real legacy was not science, more like Tortuga victims. Perfected these victims through sensory deprivation, pharmacological...
You could say abuse victims, right? No, SA is different.
No, I know, not that one.
PA? No.
You know what we're saying, guys, sorry. We have trauma conditioning.
Trauma.
And these techniques evolved into modern enhanced interrogation tactics.
They made use out of it, at least. I'm just joking. Just joking.
Children were targeted. Orphans, indigenous kids, and disabled youth were dosed with LSD.
Oh my god.
Some experiments focused on erasing memories, and that indeed was successful in some cases, but it also created a catatonic victim that was not able to move or say anything for the rest of their lives.
So they didn't just mute what you remember, they muted you in general.
Yeah.
Which, to be ripped away of who you are, I don't know. I couldn't imagine, honestly.
The CIA allegedly destroyed most evidence, and it's estimated that 90% of the files were burned and or destroyed. Many perpetrators went unpunished, just like the person who invented LSD, retired comfortably, and some MKUltra doctors were later hired by pharmaceutical companies. This has fueled endless conspiracies about who was targeted and why they were targeted and what families are still being targeted to this day. The truth was bad enough, but online things can be exaggerated. So what we say here is all truth that is verifiable.
Fact, not fiction.
And some victims did get justice, like $100 million to certain survivors, but the U.S. has never formally apologized, so what the fuck?
Yeah, they think money can buy anything.
And apologies don't just wipe away trauma, so
No.
damage has been done. And the scariest lesson is that the U.S. government got away with it, proving how easily ethics can be discarded in the name of national security, bitch. Final takeaways. MKUltra wasn't about LSD and spies. It was about dark experimental suffering and the bureaucracy that can hide it. Its real success was perfecting the art of institutional cruelty. For 20 years, the CIA turned hospitals, prisons, and brothels into labs, dosing thousands of people without their consent. The cover-up, the burning of records, the silencing of whistleblowers. Only fragments have survived. We have only said the tip of the iceberg. There's way more than what we have covered today, but we just gave you a little insider of the forgotten victims of MKUltra. MKUltra provided governments with weaponized psychology, and they can use this to prey on the vulnerable. So the real question is, it's not what they did. It's who else are they still doing it to?
Well, we can always do another. If you guys like this one, we could always do a part 2 about the research I've done with all the famous people and stuff that are allegedly involved.
Yeah, we should do Handmaid's Tale. That would be a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always you know how much I love Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah. Well, this story demands an unforgettable ending, bitch. But we're just unforgettable by ourselves. I mean, right? Don't forget about us. Every Friday, new episodes coming out. Sorry about changing the dates up. I'm working on it. And always remember to keep it chatty,
Keep it nice, keep it sweet, because
we will not be keeping this short, bitch.
God, scary cherry for the win.
And we will see you next week